Hi everyone, hope everyone is safe at home. And just as I mentioned in my earlier videos, that going forward we will be start discussing about the 4G and then later on to the 5G. Now from this video onwards, we will start discussing about 4G. Now in this video, we will basically recap our main terms that we will be using and which we need to be aware, because as we progress, that terms will be very important. And we will also discuss about what are the advantages of LTE, using why LTE is required, and how it has overcome with respect to the earlier phases or the generation of telecom. Okay, now in that case, now what we will see is, to begin with, now what exactly is LTE. Just to have an introductory session, LTE is nothing but it's a long-term evolution, right? Now why LTE has come into picture? Because day by day the user demand is increasing. When the user demand is increasing in terms of accessing the internet, the bandwidth is required, and in order to have the bandwidth, the existing 3G has been upgraded to 4G, which is termed as long-term evolution, and which we all refer it as LTE. Okay, now as we progress in this session or in this video, we will start looking into the different functions, or what are the network elements that are involved into LTE, how LTE architecture is simplified with respect to your voice signaling or with respect to your packet core signaling. Okay, so from that aspect, if we really see, then we will have a nice information on this one. Now actually the terms what we will be using in this video are related to your basically to the core network elements what we will be using in our normal GSM industry. Okay, now from that aspect, if we really see, then those are our four different core network elements. One is your NSS, the other is your BSS, MS and OSS. Okay, now as we discussed about the four different network elements which are very important for us to know, now let us try to understand the abbreviations and the meaning of it, right? Now the NSS is network and switching subsystem, BSS is base station subsystem, mobile station subsystem, and operation support subsystem. Now in this case, if we really see what exactly is NSS, NSS is your network and switching subsystem, MSC is your mobile services switching center, HLR is your home location registry, visitor location registry, EIR is your equipment identity registry, AUC is authentication center, and GMS is your gateway mobile switching center, and the other is your SMS gateway. Now BSS part, if you see, it's a base station subsystem, then your BTS is base transceiver system, and BSC is your base station controller. The main thing is of the mobile station, which a physical device which has a SIM incorporated into it, and these devices have a unique IMEI number, and those cannot be allocated to others. Okay, the SIM contains the SIM number and the IMSI number, which is International Mobile Subscriber Identity. Now every telco operator has OSS support system, because they have to take care of the entire network to see that there is a seamless connectivity that is happening without any disturbance. Okay, and whether the software hardware is in sync, and there is a balance that is happening between the different network elements to take control. Okay, now just see about LTE. LTE, as I mentioned, it stands for long-term evolution. It can also be referred to as a next generation technology towards broadband services. The project of LTE was basically started in the year 2004 by the telecommunication body known as 3GPP. The main aim of LTE is the high data rate, which is a high speed. Okay, and the 3GPP system is also known as UMTS. Okay, the term GSM stands for global system for mobile communication. This everyone is aware of it. And the LTE, why development is required? Because in order to satisfy the user demands are increasing day by day, like your online gaming, video streaming, mobile based TV applications, data exchange, etc. Now LTE is completely based on the packet switch network, which is your IP technology, and the main goal is to provide the high data rate, low latency, and packet optimization. So this is about your LTE. If we really see about advantages, there are two different advantages. One is for the telecom operators and the other is for your users. For telco operator, it's a simplified network with the throughput of high data rates, low operating cost, and all is IP based. It's a plug and play architecture. Now advantages is important to improve the user experience and improve response for applications and high data rate, enabling the faster upload and downloads, right? Now let us now see about the packet switch network also. Now let us discuss about the packet switch network of LTE. Okay, now since every LTE is completely based on the data, so it is very important to understand that how the packet switch also functions. Now packet switch is nothing but it's a IP network, mainly comprises of two parts. Okay, now the two parts are one is your radio network and the other is your core network. Now, if you further deep dive into the architecture of 4G, the evolution of new 4G architecture is called as SI, which is termed as System Architecture Evolution. It is completely a new architecture. It doesn't have any relation with your earlier 2G or 3G network. Okay, so it's a completely newly designed system for 4G. For high mobility, the architecture is not comprising of complex designs involving different nodes, but simple architecture containing less nodes for better mobility access. Now see here, when a lot of nodes are involved in between, whenever the data transfer happens, at each particular node, if you follow the theory of physics, there is a loss of energy that happens to the space, right? In the same way, whenever multiple different networks elements are involved, then at each stage there will be some kind of packet loss that will happen. So in order to avoid the entire things and in order to have the network in a very simple and a structured way, the nodes are being minimized. So that is nothing but your, it's a simple architecture containing less nodes for better mobility access. Now if we really see that what are the elements that are involved in this one, we have user evolved equipment, which is nothing but evolved user equipment, EUE. And then we have EUTRON, which is evolved universal terrestrial radio access network. And we have EPC, which is evolved packet core, which comprises of core network. Okay, so these are the elements which are mainly involved in the packet switch network, and each of them communicate with each other. So in the further coming videos, now we will deep dive into the architecture of LTE. Now since we had some basic understanding of different terminologies that will be used and what are the advantages and how exactly the LTE is functioning, since we understood on that, in the upcoming videos, now we will discuss about the exact architecture of the LTE and how the charging of records or the calls happens in LTE. So stay tuned and I'll see you in the next video.